exploring tide pools. What are tide pools? The tide is the rising and falling of the ocean where it meets the land. The tide rises and falls twice each day. In some areas, little pools of sea water are left behind when the tide goes out. There are tide pools, but tide pools are found in low area along rocky shorelines. You might also find small tide pools on sandy beaches. Any place along the shoreline that traps water creates the tide pools. What causes tides? The tides are caused by the force of gravity. The sun and the moon have strong gravity that pulls the earth. The gravity pulls on both land and water, but only the water can move in response to gravity. When the sun and moon pulled on earth, they pulled the ocean water to 2 months. Now, the rotation or spin of Earth causes the rising and falling of the tides, and land areas move into and out of where the water is in months. The tides slowly rise and fall, since Earth makes one full uh, rotation each day. There are two high tides and two low tides every 24 hours. The moon also moves around Earth, and this movement affects the tides. Twice each month, the moon and the sun line up. They pull on the ocean water together. Their combined gravity causes higher amounts of water, creating the highest and lowest tides of the month. This tide called spring tides. At other times, the moon pulls against each other. At these times, the high tides are not as high and the low tides are not as low. These are called neap tides. The intertidal zone, the area along the shore between high tide and low tide, is the intertidal intertidal zone. This area is covered by seawater during high tide and is exposed to air during low tide. The area closest to the sea is only exposed to the air during the very lowest tide. The area farthest from the sea is only covered by water during the highest tide. Different creatures live in different parts in the intertidal zone depending on whether they need air of water or water. What is life like in the tide pool? Tide pools are full of sea life. You can see these creatures when the tides go out. Usually, the more places there are for animals to hide or attack themselves, the more animal you will find is the tide pool. The tide pool with most animals usually occur in rocky area. Material the animals live in or attack themselves to is called substrate. The substrate. In tide pools, substrate is usually rocks or sand. Surviving in intertidal zone is difficult for the animals there. Imagine living where seawater washes in and out of your home every day. The animals in tide pool have to be able to deal with waves crashing over them. If they don't hang on tight or get out of the way, they could be tossed around, battered against rocks, or even swept away. But it isn't just seawater that's threatened. The animals of the intertidal zone. Exposure to the air, sun is also dangerous. For an animal that needs to be covered by water, exposure to air causes two major problems. The first problem is dry out. The second problem is that these animals are suddenly exposed to a predator looking for an easy meal. So do tidal zone animals survive? Tidal animals have adapted to life in the tide pools. These animals are used to the tide coming and going from their homes every day. They have ways of clinging to rocks and finding protection of crashing waves. The, what have, they have ways of preventing their bodies from drying out in the air. They also have ways of avoiding the beaks or jaw of predators. How a tide pools animal survives depends on whether st- it is stuck in one place or can move around. Many animals are attached to the substrate, and they do not move around. This prevents them from being washed away. Some animals, such as mussels, have very strong hair-like fibers that attach to substrate. Other animals, such as barnacles, create cement-like glue that they use to attach themselves to rocks because they cannot move around. The animals can escape from sun, air, and predators. Tide pools animals that are mobile or can move around are able to run, swim, or crawl. Some of these creatures are sea creatures that become trapped in tide pools during low tide. They cannot return to sea until the high tide returns. But because they are mobile, they can seek shelter from the air, sun, and predators.